All right, well, time to move on to our main topic for this evening, and that's all about your content plan, your content production for 2024. There are some trends. I'll talk about some of the trends that have come up really sort of more recently. If you think about content back in pre-COVID, back in 2019, 18, even 2020, there's some quite long-form content that appeared on things like social media, in blog posts, long-form sales pages, which meant lots and lots of text. But for some reason, people's attention spans have got a lot shorter over the past few years. And you just need to look at social media, particularly the likes of Facebook. So Facebook Reels, they've got those Reels up there, those little videos that you click on because it looks interesting. And when it finishes, you go and flick to the next one and then flick to the next one. And then before you know it, you've wasted half an hour or an hour of your life that you'll never get back again. That's how people are consuming content. The little short pieces of content. That is also on YouTube now. So they're called YouTube Shorts. Obviously on Instagram and TikTok. Lots more people getting onto TikTok now too. And I know that there are some people here that are on TikTok because I had a swipe through some of the content that was on TikTok and saw some of your familiar faces there this afternoon. So we've got content on TikTok as well too, but the attention span has really contracted. People often ask me, what's the ideal length of a piece of content? Is shorter better? That's not necessarily the case. What's really important is that not the length of the content, but how interesting it is and how valuable it is. People will read stuff if it's highly relevant and highly valuable to them, but they'll skip over it if it's boring and it's not particularly relevant or it's waffly. All right, well, let's jump into, I've got some slides ready just to help guide me through this tonight. So tonight's session is the master plan to create your 12 months content and bring you in new customers. Obviously, we're not creating content for content's sake, but the objective of it is when you're running business is to help you with your sales process, help you with your lead generation and help you to bring in new customers and help with your credibility and visibility, which again, that helps you to bring in new clients and customers as well too. By the way, can I might just jump off a share and get a show of hands. Let me just bring you all up. Who here has a content plan already written out for themselves for 2024? Just give us a show of hands if you've already done it. All right, so just a handful of us here. Okay, who here knows that they should have some form of content plan and just haven't quite got there yet? Give us a show of hands there. Okay, so it is important, haven't quite got there yet. Anyone here not quite sure where to start with your content plan or what to do? So give us 2 hands for that one. Okay, so a few of us here. Perfect. Well, that's really what we want to deal with tonight. I know that content sometimes feels overwhelming. It feels like a lot of writing. So often when we talk about content, people think about, text-based, writing, written content. And that sort of stuff can take up a ton of time. So what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is not stuff that's going to take a whole lot of time. It's how do you accelerate your content production so it doesn't use up all your time, and so that when you do make it a priority, that it's actually quite easy to create, easy to execute, and easy to get it out there. So if I covered that, does that sound like the sort of thing that's going to be helpful and useful for you for tonight? Perfect. All right, let's get back to this screen. I did some really fancy illustrations on Canva. I do want you to see that there because I'm quite proud of it all. All right, so here's the first thing to share with you tonight. And this really is a representation of the typical lead generation process. So often people will talk about, what they're doing in business is that they need more leads? Anyone here need more leads or feel like they need more leads? Just drop us an L in chat if you think you need more leads in your business. So just give us an L in chat if you need more leads. Obviously, we all need more leads, right? Well, there we go. Some L's in there. Perfect. All right. Well, the thing that I will tell you about today is that getting leads is the easiest part of business. All you need to do is go to Google or Facebook or even TikTok today and create an ad, run an ad, and you will get leads. It is inevitable that you will. So getting the leads is not the problem. Converting the leads into a conversation, a sale, getting them to your product and service, that there is the problem. So if we have a look at that representation that's on the screen at the moment, the left bank there, you can see all of those people standing at the left bank. Those are all of your prospective clients and customers. So all of your leads are standing on that bank there. Now, your objective as a business owner, if you have a look on the right bank, at the top of the right bank, you will see two entrepreneurial business owners, one with a magnet, the other one with a megaphone, and they are trying to draw those people on that left bank over to them, which is obviously where their products and services are on the other side. Now there's a chasm in between so all of those people and your leads and your product and service. And at the bottom of that chasm is a whole lot of water sort of rushing through, and a whole lot of little nasties down there as well too. So, and those sort of nasties represent things like, how do I trust you? Who are you? Can you actually fulfill what you do? What you tell me you can do. I've got a problem there. I'm not sure whether you can solve it. I need, you've probably heard this before, send me some results of what you've done with other people. Send me some people there that can talk well of you. So those little nasties at the bottom, they represent what's going on in people's minds about whether they are happy to part with their money and come and pay for your goods and services that you've got. And so with all that there, if you think about this particular diagram here, how do you think you would get people from the left bank over to the right bank? So getting your prospects and customers and all the general public, getting those that see the value in what you're doing, how do you get them over to the other side? They look like some of my clients. There you go. Thanks, Jeff. So just drop into chat how you think you might get some of these people across the other side, or unmute yourself and tell me how you might get some strategies to get people across that divide there. All right, offer them a solution to the problem. Yep, lead magnet, offer something for free. Yes, swim. Well, it's interesting that some marketing strategies do require people to swim through that river there.
That's because if the crocodiles and the sharks get them, then they become my clients. So.
Oh, well, that's true. You have a unique business when it comes to that. Help relieve them of their pain. Yes, yes, and yes. Help them clarify the problem, what their problems really are. So all of those are really good answers. Build them a boat. Perfect. Yep. All of those are really good answers. But it really comes down to the execution of it all. How do you actually execute that? And practically, what do you do in business? It is easy to go and flick the switch to run an ad. It's easy to put up some social media posts talking about their problems and trying to get them to buy from it. But how many people have clicked on those ads and responded to those social media posts that you put up and done nothing? So it's, there's been a lot of interest, but there's been no action. Anyone had that experience? So really, we haven't moved people from one side to the other. They're still on the other side. They may be a little more educated, but they're still on the other side. So this is what I suppose some of the tactics that people use for that lead generation. So, and a lot of them, like social media posting, social media ads, SEO, that's a lead generation tactic as well. Search engine optimization. So the hope there is you get content, people are interested in it, they click through to your website to find out more. Google ads, blogging, webinars, podcasts, networking, trade shows. That was one of my best lead generation tools. We would get a minimum of 5,000 leads at trade shows when I was doing trade shows. So that was exceptionally good. And cold calls. Now, interesting thing about trade shows too is that with those leads at the trade show, can you believe that there were people that were at the trade show that got leads and they contacted less than 10% of the people that were that actually said that they're interested, less than 10%. So they spent, in those days it was $2,000 to $3,000 on a trade show table, and they only contacted about 10% of them. So in my mind, which is that there's craziness, we would contact 100%. Well, it's probably not quite 100% because there are people that put in false details and I couldn't read the phone numbers, but we attempted to contact 100% of the people that expressed an interest in the trade shows. And when we started doing trade shows, that was before social media. It was really before some of the automation tools for that we've got today with AI and be able to send out some emails in bulk and personalize them the way you can today. So this was just old school, pick up the phone, contact them. So fortunately, it's a whole lot easier than that now. But even today on the Gold Coast and up in Brisbane, been to a number of trade shows there over the years, and yet a good chunk of people there would contact none of the leads that they picked up from the trade shows. So they paid for it, contact no one. So if they contacted no one, what's the prospect of turning those people into customers? It's zero. So you could probably say that in the middle of that pond there is that shark. It is the equivalent of people just jumping in and being eaten by the shark because there's no way they're getting over to your side. In fact, when you think about that shark or those lurking fears and doubts and things, what they represent, you see there's crocodiles, there's shark fins, there's what is it, moray, eel, dragons, and whatever. But what they represent is the 5 fundamental reasons why people won't buy from you. And those are these: as they don't trust you, they don't need what you have, or if they do trust you and they do have a need, they don't think you can help them. They can't afford it, they haven't got the money, or not right now. So they don't have either the time to do it now, or they're putting it off to later on. So generally, with people, those are the sorts of things that you are up against. Any of those sound familiar? So just drop a yes in there if you've ever had someone say to you, look, I can't afford it, or look, sounds good, but can you talk to me next year, or talk to me next month, or look, I've just got to check out, I want to get 3 quotes, which basically means I'm not sure you can help me. Or they're asking you for that age-old question of can you send me some examples of your work? If you're a designer or whatever, then you'll often get that one there. All right, can't afford it, or the big one, it isn't necessary. So that's no need. I don't need it. So yep. Most people lie rather than tell you the truth. That is absolutely true, David. And it's not that they deliberately want to lie to you. It's just that they want to try and let you off the hook easily, and often will fall for that. So when we put this in context of creating content, then if you think about, if these are the 5 primary reasons why people won't say yes to you or won't buy from you today, then think about your content in terms of how do we address all of these issues that are lurking in people's mind. So here's a funny thing in terms of the human psychology is, if I pick up on what David said as well too, most people will lie to you rather than tell you the truth. It's just they tell you an untruth in the hope that you'll go away, or that they get to think about it. They don't want to make a commitment today or tomorrow on this. But in behind that generally is what they tell you is not the real issue or problem. It is really just a cover for it. And so if they say that, let's say, send me a portfolio of what you've done. So basically what that means is that actually, I don't know whether you can do the job. So so that's a cover for that. And what is that a cover for? It's often a cover for, I might spend money with you and I might not get back what I paid for, or I don't trust that you can do the job as well as I don't know who else. So that is the unspoken thing that's going on in their head. They won't say that because it's a bit rude, and they don't want to offend you. But it's what's lurking in their mind. Now, if you call that out, so let's say if you're, and the hardest thing is when you're talking to someone, you can actually get into that conversation and pull that out. But if you're online and and people are reading text or they're watching video, it is a one-way conversation. So you're not getting a response back from them. So the trick that you've got to think about is what's the unspoken question that is in their mind, and then address that. So if you're going to address that in your content, then people start to think, oh, this person knows, I haven't even mentioned this. This is what I'm thinking. They actually know what I'm thinking. And then they start to develop some sort of empathy, thinking that if you are calling out their unspoken reasons for not going ahead or not doing something, or understand what the emotion is underneath it, they automatically assume you have the solution, or they automatically assume that you're the person that can really help them. So what I've got, I'll get back to you, is a typical way to leave you if they don't see value and they ghost you. Yeah, absolutely, Peter. So that I'll get back to you is a very common thing. So think about that. I'll get back to you. What's really going on? Who's used that, by the way, with a salesperson? You said, oh, look, I'll get back to you sort of next week. Anyone done that? Yeah, yeah. So it's a good way, because people often don't challenge you with that. So that I need to think about it. But there's something else that is going on in their minds. If you know what that is, and you start to write some content about it, your chances of converting the person into a call, the next step, a client or a customer, is a lot greater than if you ignore it or don't face it. So just take a note of that. These are the 5 common reasons why people won't buy. Everything that they tell you, so any question or objection or whatever comes up will fall into one of those categories, and generally they're often in that order as well too. So, and you do need to cover all of them off in your content. So this here is typically what those lead generation processes end up doing. So you've got all of these leads wanting to get across to you. You've made it, you haven't made it easy for them. So who talked about the boat, building them a boat? I think it was Con. So there we go. There's a boat there for them to come across. You've got some guy climbing down that rope ladder down the cliff there to get into the boat. We do have a swimmer there. So Paul, there's a swimmer in there as well too. You got someone being fired out of a cannon, trampoline, someone leaping over, a rocket on their back. You've got a tightrope across there to get there. So all that represents is you're getting the potential clients and customers to do all the work to try and get to you. Now, what does that mean in reality? It's quite simple things. It can be, in reality, not having a phone number on your website for them to call you. So you might have done the lead generation. So you might have created a post on Facebook, come to your website and ask them to get in contact with you. But there's no phone number there, or there's no web form there. And you may think it's be unusual not to have web forms on a website, but I see this all the time. People just don't have a web form on the site. It's not all sites, thank goodness, but you've just made it difficult. So that lead that you've got them so far, they drop off the cliff because they can't take the action or the next step or that next action. It could be something as simple as not having they might be interested in what you do and they want some more information, and you don't have something as simple as a lead magnet that will help take the next step. So who here has, let's just grab a show of hands in the chat, not hands, but if you don't have a lead magnet on your website, just drop an N in the chat there. You don't have a lead magnet. And for those dropping in, thank you for your honesty. This is part of what it is. That's a really, really simple thing. Just putting a lead magnet on your website will get you inquiries. So not as such, yep. So if you don't have a lead magnet there, you've just put an obstacle in the way, or you've got a crocodile on there. It's like, well, how do I find out more information from this person to buy? Now, just remember that before people contact you, they want some anonymity. So before they pick up the phone and talk to you, they want to be able to stalk you anonymously without you knowing that they're doing some research on you, because they don't know yet whether you're going to try and hard sell them into what you're doing. They don't know yet whether they can really sort of trust you in terms of being the person that can help them. And they don't really know whether your product's going to be able to help them. And sometimes they don't even know exactly what their problem is, or that they have an issue or problem. But they don't want to pick up the phone and talk to you yet. Does that make sense? Is anyone here an anonymous stalker on the website where they go and research stuff? They don't want to talk to anyone. They want to do their own sort of research before they speak to anyone. Yeah. So particularly in today's age, and if you look at the younger generation as well, and it's not only the younger generation, they prefer to talk with text messages, SMS messages, and Messenger. They don't actually want to talk to people with a conversation first up. So that there is, is still preserving some anonymity. So and if you think about that trade show example that I talk about, if you only contacted 10% of the inquiries that you got from the trade show, then that there is just all of your leads falling off the cliff, all of those inquiries falling off the cliff. And the number of times this happens is it happens to most businesses, and I would suspect it's probably happening to your business. I know it happens in mine. And sometimes it happens inadvertently because we've forgotten to do something, or we haven't quite had the time to really get that our website up to spec, our call to action there. We haven't quite got our lead magnet 100%. So that's your typical lead generation process. And again, there's no problems getting leads. The problem is getting them across that chasm to your product and service. And your job really is to get them from that left bank over to the right bank, and to do it so it's relatively risk-free for them as well. So risk-free, one of the typical ways of reducing risk is things like having a guarantee. So if you guarantee your product or service, then that starts to de-risk it. It can be things like having testimonials in there. So testimonials are really third-party proof that actually you do what you say you can do. So it's a bit like going to the movies and you're looking for a good movie to see, and you don't know any of them there. You ask someone that's what movie would they recommend, like a friend of yours, and they give you a recommendation. You go on their recommendation. So that's really de-risked it so that they don't go and see a bad movie. They're taking your word on the fact that you wouldn't go and see a bad movie or recommend a bad movie. Crazy thing about it today is that people make decisions based on testimonials from people that they don't know and have never met before. So reviews are people, if you look at Google reviews or Facebook reviews, they haven't met these people, they don't know them, yet they trust their word over and above your word.
Which is why a video testimonial is a whole heap more trustworthy than something that's just written in text on the bottom of your website that you might have made up. or you may
Yeah,
not.
yes, yes, it is. It's got another level of authenticity to it as well too. But the fact of it is that still they don't know who's actually created this, or who's spoken in the video, but they'll take their recommendation because it must be true, because it's not you. So people believe stuff that other people say, not you.
Mm.
Getting ahead of myself here. So part of it too is sometimes you need to give people instructions on how to get from that left bank to the right bank. So from let's say a Facebook post or a LinkedIn post, you've got to give them instructions about what to do next. So we all know the words say call to action. So a call to action really is a set of instructions, or it's one instruction. Do this next. So a simple instruction is click here. Another instruction is download this checklist. So you need to give instructions. Call me now. Book a free consultation, free appointment. Book a discovery call. So giving instructions for people is really important. That helps them to navigate across the other side. And all you're doing is you want to eliminate uncertainty and risk so that people feel safe. So the easiest way to do it is someone said it there before too, is to build a bridge from one side to the other. And this bridge here just happens to have a safety net beneath it. So your safety net can be things like, your 100% money back guarantee or 100% satisfaction guarantee. You don't necessarily have to have a money back guarantee. Could be just a satisfaction guarantee. Could be that we'll work for free until we get it right if we don't get it right the first time. But what you want is you want a bridge across there that makes it easy for people to cross. So when you're calling across with your megaphone, with your magnet, with your Facebook posts, and your ads, that it's an easy path for people to walk across from one side to the other. So what are those? How do you construct that bridge? Any ideas how you construct that bridge across from lead to engaging with you? What are the tools or things you do to do that? Let's drop it into chat, what you think you might do. Canva is definitely a tool that you could use for it. It is not the way, but it is the tool that you would use to do this. Yep. What else? What's the easiest way to construct your digital bridge from to get people just to walk across it quite simply? Educate them. So educate them how to know they have a problem. Absolutely. So education is one thing. So what is education effectively with people that you don't know? Or how do you provide that education is probably a better way to put it. Build a relationship. How do you build a relationship? What's the first step you would do to build that relationship? Incentive treats. Ron, you're dealing with animals. Incentive treats, I definitely work for that. Yep. So yeah, that's a really good thing. Yeah, incentive treats for the owners as well. Share some of your own story. Perfect. Yes, absolutely. All of those there. You got community. Having them part of a community. How do you get them into the community? Send valuable information to them. Build your reputation. Having guarantees. Yep, all of those are good. Having a free offer. Absolutely. Using Facebook groups to engage and have conversations. And what are those? Those are all examples of content. So in an online world, that all happens generally around content, or it starts with content. And if we think about content, that content is each slat on that bridge is a piece of content. It's almost like you're building that bridge as you go along. So think about those piece of content being, let's say you create an authoritative Facebook post about a particular issue or problem. Actually, my favorite one is this one here, and that's in Facebook groups. Anyone been into a Facebook group? I think this happens in LinkedIn as well, but a Facebook group where someone asks a question about how to do something. Now, I get it in the marketing realm. It's like, how do you create an audience or a custom audience in Facebook, for instance, when running ads. And then the comments below, the comments typically are DM me, I can help you out. They'll tag someone else in who's a digital marketer and say, this person can help you. They say something like, we'll do it at a really good price or a discounted price for you. Has that answered their question? It hasn't. What did they ask? They asked for, how do I create a custom audience in Facebook? But yet people are trying to sell to them the solution that they want to sell to them without answering the question. How many times do you think that ends up in a sale? 0. Yep, absolutely. It's probably not quite 0. It might be 1 or 2 that do it, but 0. So, so my favorite strategy with that there is to answer that post as fully as I can. So I've created a in the comment below the post, I have created step-by-step instructions for people on how to do these things. So, if it's to find a custom audience, provided a step-by-step instructions for that. So, so when the person reads it, they are in no doubt as to how to do it. They could follow those steps, and they could, and they have resolved the problem that they had, which in this case was to create a custom audience. Do you think that person that asked the question is going to buy from me, buy my services? Probably not. So, and they're probably not my client. Because they want to do it themselves. So they've been looking for sort of someone to help them to do it themselves. But on that post itself, how many other comments are on that post? So generally there are a ton of comments under it. But more than that, how many people are looking at the post that haven't actually commented? So there's lots and lots of eyeballs on that post. And often I've had business come out of those posts there from someone that's read my comment and has seen that this person knows what they're talking about. I actually don't want to do it, but I need some help doing it, and I'm prepared to pay for it. And so, so it's not the person that actually posts or creates that post. There are other people that are watching it that end up being the customers. And effectively what I've done is I put a plank on that bridge across that that chasm there for someone that I don't know, who is looking for the sorts of solutions that I provide. I got to them in a way which I haven't had to pay for. So I haven't had to run an ad. I haven't had to get a marketing agency in there to help me. But just by simply providing a block of content in a post like that, that's what's actually attracted people to me. Not the original poster, but other people have come through that. What else do you think they do with that there? They go and click on my profile icon. They go and have a look at my Facebook profile. And in that profile, I have my website. They go and click on that. They're going to have a look through the website. And I have had people that have downloaded a lead magnet on my website and have come along onto the show and have ended up being customers of mine through that process there by simply creating an answer to a post. And if you think about the value, sort of how valuable that customer is, like I haven't had to sell them. They have come to me to become a customer of mine rather than me having to pitch them about how good I am. Does that make sense? So with that piece of content that I created, what else could you do with that comment that is in that social media post? What else do you think you could do with that? Just drop that into chat. Yep, you could definitely sharing it. Yep, you're creating authority. You could share the post. Turn to a blog. Absolutely. So the content is long enough and good enough to turn into a blog post. Absolutely. Yep. Could definitely post it to other platforms. Becomes part of your frequently asked questions on your website. Yep. Repurpose the wording. Yes, you could do that. Could you turn it into a video? So could you do a Facebook Live on it? Could you do a YouTube video on it? So in fact, you could read it for that there and create a video. Could you then cut up segments, or could you create a lead magnet out of that? So create a lead magnet on the post. So one thing I do know about that content is lots of people were watching it. So there are lots of comments on the post, lots of eyeballs on the post. So it means it was a problem that other people had. So would it be valuable content to create a lead magnet out of? Absolutely. Make sure your about segment of Facebook and LinkedIn profiles talks about problems, your ideal for your ideal clients. Yep. So it makes you feel like you're talking to them. So absolutely. So you could use that. So you can pull out extracts of that and put into your profile. That's a great suggestion, Peter. I hadn't thought about that, but you could definitely use that so that you're demonstrating that you're solving problems. So, and by listing those problems out. So it's a really good place to be able to do some market research by providing that. So think about the long game, not the short game. The short game is contact me and I'll sell you some stuff. The long game is, here's the answer. Has that helped you? Because in that case there, it's like, thank you. Yes, you have, or you might not get a response at all, but you'll get other people starting to respond to it. So you're leveraging off someone else's problem that other people have got to get those people through to you. So that is one piece of content. How long do you think it took me to create a comment on that post, which detailed the instructions for that there? I've done a few of those. Often it'll take me half an hour to do it. Something like that will generally take about half an hour. To put into that comment, you contact me and or DM me and I can help you. That takes about 15 seconds. Half an hour is well worth the investment if you get a couple of clients out of that spend several $1,000s with you. And it's far better than putting in a throwaway sales comment in there that gets you nothing. So that there's is an example of a plank or a pillar that you can put across on the bridge there. Now, just remember that with that particular content there, if someone's doing some research, so there are people in the market that are ready to buy now, people that are researching, and people that don't know they have a problem. So if people are doing that research and they come across your comment, then that elevates your credibility and authority, particularly when compared to someone that says, just DM me and I'll sell you something. Does that make sense? And so the game here is about how do you enhance your value? Well, not enhance your value, but how do you provide value? And in providing value, that enhances your authority. So it's a longer term game, but it will consistently get you better clients without having to pay for it and to advertise for it. One pillar piece of content. All right, stories. Stories are a great way to create content as well. In fact, again, Peter's great at sharing other people's stories as well. So, if there are problems or issues that people have that they want to have solved, telling a story is often a good way. So if you're putting posts up there that are stories, particularly third-party stories, then they're a great way to illustrate some of your capability without talking about yourself at all. So you can find anecdotal stories online as well too. You can talk about some of those anecdotal stories, or what do they call them, fables, fable-like stories as well. They're good ones to use as well. I know Peter does that very well. You'll often see that on his LinkedIn and Facebook profiles, posting up some of these things that make you think, but they're also related to the sorts of solution that he provides. So he doesn't have to sell what he's doing. He's able to just talk about the problems that people have in a very creative way. So stories are really good as well too. All right, and what you are endeavoring to do. So each of those planks is providing certainty and safety. So we're moving into some, and we're sort of there, but we're moving into some fairly uncertain times over 2024. Interest rates are going up. We don't know what's happening so globally in the world. There are talks and sort of smatterings of talk about further lockdowns in the world as well too, or other health issues coming up. There are you've got the world of crypto. So you may not have or you may not have heard that Bitcoin, for instance, is now being approved by US Securities Commission for banks to use to provide transfers, monetary transfers. They're called EFT. So you've got lots of that sort of change starting to happen in the world, which is bringing in uncertainty. So the more you can provide certainty, your content provides certainty and safety, the easier it is going to be for you, working with potential clients and customers. So think about that, provide certainty and safety. And each plank is a piece of content. So think about your content plan. So all of that's leading through to a content plan to make it simple for you to create that. If all you need to do is have those planks across the river, the more of those you've got, the easier it is for people to really come and buy your products and solutions without you having to sell it. And what you're doing is by providing those pieces of content. So they could be things like that Facebook post. They could be things like a blog post that you've then repurposed. It could be, if you have a look at this show here that we've got tonight, this show gets cut up into multiple pieces and posted across social media and across the web in multiple different formats. So what it is it's the same content. It's an hour and a half of my time tonight, and it's an hour and a half of your time tonight. But we're able to cut it up, and that gives us more than enough content to post across social media, so it feels like we're everywhere. Not everyone comes to the show, but people get snippets of it on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. There's probably some other places. I don't know. SlideShare. What's the other one? Scribed. There are lots and lots of platforms there where you can post the content in multiple different formats. That when people are searching for what it is that you offer, then you just keep appearing. So particular search, you want to dominate search. I've got to the point now where I think every single listing in Google search for the first 6 pages is mine. So it's not mine directly. Other people have posted for me. So it's like I've appeared on other people's podcasts and webinars. But every piece of content, when I last looked, for the first 6 pages in Google, was talking about me and my business. So if you can get to that sort of point there, that's an authoritative position to be in. And it's not that hard to do. That took 6 months to do when I changed my business. So if you think about your content plan, think of this. You need to have content that has value in its own right. So what are the issues and problems your clients typically have that they want to have solved? Now, it doesn't have to be an entire problem. It can be just a small part of the problem that they've got. So they might, the problem might be that they want to run a Facebook ads campaign, but a small micro part of that is, how do I find a custom audience? How to create a custom audience? So you give them a small snippets that lets them, gives them the answer in its entirety. So it's of value to them. Answer questions. So listen. So one of the best ways is to listen to what your existing clients, what they ask you before they come and buy from you. And also listen to the questions and that people pose to you if they don't buy from you as well. Those are all valuable for you, because then you can answer those. That becomes content for you. So that's another plank on that bridge. Think about the objections you have. Objections are just another word for questions. So think about it. So answering those. You're wanting to enhance your credibility, and certainly things like reviews and testimonials. If there's one thing that you could do this year that would create content for you that you don't have to write yourself, ask all of your existing clients for a Google review. So that Google review, it's on a third-party platform. You can lift those reviews off and you can post them in social media. So you can take a screenshot of it and you can post it in social media and say, here's what one of our clients said about the results that she got or he got. So don't just leave it on the platform. You can use it and repurpose those. Even better, ask them for a LinkedIn recommendation. Thanks, Con. So LinkedIn recommendations are good as well too. And grab that as well. Post that across other social media networks. Post it onto your website as well too. And it's far better to grab a screenshot of those reviews and recommendations and put the screenshot on your website rather than typing it out and looking fancy. So use the screenshot because it's more authentic because people can check it. And what you want to do is to show with your content there is to show possibility, so that possibilities that people have got to solve the problems they've got, and you want transparency. So you want to be able to provide transparency so people know exactly what they're going to get when they're working with you. They know your character, they know your results, and it's coming from other people. That's all of that is content. It's not stuff you have to create yourself. It's stuff that other people can create. You need to facilitate it by asking for it. So if you think about, what are some of the things you can create, you can research questions and problems. Think about the desired outcomes or transformations that people are looking for. What is the result that they want? So how can you create content that that leads them towards that result? Think about what sort of content you want to create, what sort of category, what's the purpose of it. Think about what's your primary creation source. So my primary creation source for content is video. So we turn video, and for me, video is really quick. We can turn that into text, turn it into images. We can cut the video up into small snippets. We can turn it into reels and shorts. And so just have to do this once. This gives hours and hours and hours worth of content. And I've got a team of 2 people that cut it up and disperse it across the internet. And that's why I've got 6 pages in Google, because we keep repurposing content. Think about the media type. You've got video, you've got images, you've got audio. You can publish videos that you create into podcasts. So it's easy to take the audio out and turn it into podcasts. Podcasts only need to be 10 to 15 minutes long. You don't need an hour-long podcast. Remember, people's attention span has really shortened. They can just be little 10 to 15-minute podcasts. So again, it makes it easy. If you think about podcasting, it makes it easy to create 10-minute segments than it is to create an hour-long segment, and it's more likely to get listened to. So think about where to publish, who's going to publish it, how often are you going to publish it, and always with your content too, what is your call to action? So a call to action doesn't need to be buy my stuff now. It could be tell me what you think. So put a comment below. Tell me what you think. Am I on the right track or on the wrong track? It could be download a checklist that you've got. It could be book a call. It could be share with someone that you think might be helpful for. And always with your content, think about how can you repurpose this in a different way. Now, I'm going to give you a content plan. This is really what you've come here for. All of this is just talking about the importance of content. And it is, and if you think about your content as well too, if you are running ads and you've got organic content out there that people can search and have a look at, then you've now sort of got a greater likelihood of people taking action. If you're just sending people from an ad to a web page and you've got no other content out there that talks anything about you, what you do, your results, any reviews, it is a lot more difficult to get someone to take action on what you'd like them to do, whether it's book a call or buy something from you or register for your free workshop. If you've got lots of content out there that they can go and search and find, then they're building up that confidence for themselves, positions you as an authority. So if you keep your bank of content going out there, then it means that when you do run those ad campaigns, if you happen to run ads or you're running campaigns to launch anything, then you've got lots and lots of material to start to back it up. And so you don't have to start from scratch. It is an ever-growing bank of material that's there that people can have a look at. So thanks to Rel. So can you please send me the chat an example? Oh, yes, I can send that to you, Narelle. So you probably can't see this planner very well on the screen. This is the start of my content for this year. And so this is the content that I'm creating for this year. And you can use the same type of planner for it. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've actually got 7 things on there. I've just missed off the last one. So podcast guest. So think about this. If you don't have a podcast, could you speak about your topic on someone else's podcast? Yeah, absolutely could. So so for me, it's looking for 12 podcasts that I can be a guest on each month over the course of the year. So that's quite an easy ask, particularly when there are Facebook groups out there and LinkedIn groups out there that are asking for podcast guests. Join those groups, find out who's there that is in your topic, start to have a conversation with them, listen to their podcasts, and give them some and approach them with something that you think might fit their podcast. Again, you've got to think about how can you give them something of value rather than how can you get something from them. So mine is podcast guests. So I've done lots of that in the past, works really well. You get in front of other people's audience and you don't have to pay for it, and they do marketing for you. So because it's their podcast, they're putting marketing pieces out that you don't have to, and it sits there forever. It's a third-party endorsement. Even if they're not endorsing you, because you're on their show, then it is an endorsement in a sense, and that they wouldn't have you there if you weren't any good. So so you get someone else endorsing you in a roundabout way. Email newsletter. Emails is a great way to communicate with people. Everyone here will. Well, if you're on my list here, you get an email from me at least once a week, and in fact, I dare say you probably get three emails from me every week. So so don't be afraid to email people. If people unsubscribe, that's okay. They're never going to be a customer anyway, so don't worry about unsubscribes. Worry about getting your content out there. So email newsletter is a good way to do that. I'll be putting out an email newsletter once a month, and there's a great site out there called Substack, which is an email newsletter platform, and it's a great place to get new subscribers. It's a bit like school, except it's for text-based content. So Substack. So you'll see it published there. This show here, running this show, this is a great source of content for us. WordPress meetup. So kicking off a WordPress meetup here on the Gold Coast, and running that every month. So I used to run that before COVID. Obviously shut down over COVID. So I'm reinstituting that this year. And for those that happen to be in the Gold Coast, what does BOSIO stand for? BOSIO stands for Business Owners SmashGo Online. That is this show here. A blog. So I'm going to continue with the blog. Well, here we go. It's bringing up the actual Google document itself. So creating sort of content for the blog. Great thing about the blog is I don't have to write the content. It comes out of the material that we already create in video, like this show here. So, and there's some good tools out there like ChatGPT. I can put the transcript of the show into ChatGPT and ask it to edit it into a blog post. It'll do an okay job. It won't do a great job. It'll do an okay job, but it'll give me a start there to then just to easily tidy it up. But it's going to use the same style that it receives in that transcript. It'll remove all the ums and ahs and the filler words and all that sort of thing there, and it gives a good coherent piece of text. So doing that there, that can be done in about less than 5 minutes, as opposed to an hour or two writing a blog post. And of course, we've got an offline one, which is networking. So part of BX networking. So that's part of my content strategy. And the other one is reviews, getting more Google reviews. There's a magic number out there, which is 200. If you get 200 or more Google reviews, unofficially, that gives you a bump in your search engine optimization, in your SEO. So you should aim to get about 200 plus reviews. And we've seen the value of that with some of the clients that we've worked with, who, when they've got that level of reviews, when clients or potential clients are doing research on whether they should use them, we've got a lawyer there, whether we should use this lawyer or another lawyer. The lawyer that I'm been working with has got 250 odd reviews. How many lawyers have got that many reviews? And good reviews as well too. And so he used to advertise with Google Ads. He's decreased his spending in Google Ads because he's got those reviews there, and he's getting people organically just because he's got those reviews up. So that's a great piece of content as well. So so your task is, if you think about what are 5 to 7 pieces of content that you can publish every week or month. You should have something going out weekly, and you should have some going out monthly. So what are your 5 to 7 things that you can do as your source documents to create your content? So just make a list of those 5 to 7 things. So as I say, mine are podcast guesting, email newsletter, business owners smashing online webinar, WordPress meetup, blog, networking, and reviews. And all of those can be repurposed into other formats. And just to make it simple, on the other sheet here, we have a tracker. So I've got all of these activities down the left-hand side. We've got the frequency, which is monthly, monthly, weekly, monthly, monthly, weekly, and can tick off once we've actually completed each of these. Now, you probably can't see it that well on the screen. If you want a copy of this, I'm happy to share that with you. In fact, what I'll do is I was going to say, if you want a copy of it, just drop yes into the chat. Just let me know and I can get it through to you. But what I think probably what's going to be easier is we've got an email that goes out either tomorrow or Wednesday after the show. I'll just drop the links into that email, and then you can have a copy of that. If you want any help with it, sing out, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you to help you with this, so that you really do get on track with it. The one thing I would say about this content, though, is that often people think that it is a thing that you, and I asked that question at the beginning, a thing that you should do. Rather than making it a should do, change that to a must do. So with client appointments, is that something you should do or must do? That's generally a must do, isn't it? So you put that in your diary or your schedule, and when you make the appointment, you turn up, whether it's on Zoom or in person. That is an essential activity of your business, which is non-negotiable. Make your content creation non-negotiable. Put it into your diary, and so that you've got it scheduled there. So this show here is scheduled in my diary for every Tuesday, 6 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. I've got a Facebook Live scheduled in Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. So that happens regardless. Our emails are scheduled in as well. So it's turned into a system. It's a non-negotiable. It is a part of the business. So if you're able to change your mindset from it being I should do this thing or I must do this thing into it's a non-negotiable, then you'll get traction with the content. And you shouldn't need to spend any more than when you're getting started with this, any more than an hour a week doing it. And if you start with video, it's definitely no more than an hour. So even if you use video and you talk into a video to create your content, you don't have to do it publicly, although it's better to do it publicly. You can do it privately. And if you do it privately, you've got to start to be able to transcribe it. You can use tools like otter.ai or the that transcript.lol that I had up here today. You can use those tools to turn that into text, and that'll give you a starting point to create content. But make it if it is going to be video, put it in your schedule to make a video once a week. If you want help with that, with your video as well too, or with your content creation, I know that some of you will be thinking about, well, what do I write on, or what do I create content on? What topics are people interested in? How do I structure my content? Then I haven't got time to go into it today because we've reached time. I did run a program called How to Create 12 Months Content in 60 Minutes Without Writing a Single Word. Ran that last year. I think there were some people that were on that this year. This was a half-day workshop that we ran. If you want access to that, then you're welcome to have access to that for, what have we got? I think, I've lost it now. I think it's on the site there for $97. So it's a half-day workshop. It's pre-recorded, and but it is an actual workshop we ran through. It's got all the templates in there. It's got the systems and processes in there to really help you to create the content, not to recreate your content over and over again. There it is there. So not to recreate it, but to give you that start, to do the research. So using tools like Answer the Public, and in there we actually we dove into the answer the public and started to get some of those content buckets for you. So you can go through that program. Literally, it is that workshop. You can go through it and just go through all the steps we went through in that workshop to help you to get at least your content plan done in that 60 minutes. So when you get there, you can't actually buy it from the site at the moment. We've just been reconstructing. All you do is just request access, and then I can shoot you through the details for the payment and give you access to that there. So and if you request access, just type business owners SmashGo on a webinar in there. It'll just let me know where you've come from, that you come from here today. And that's the QR code to get there as well. So that's the session for today. Any hopefully that's helpful. Any questions at all from today? Let me unshare my screen. Just bring up all your faces as well too. There you go. The link's in the chat there. Any questions at all? Any comments there? Easy, hard? Is it achievable?
Nick, how are you, mate? It's Con.
Con, yes.
Do you got any thoughts on conversion rates in relation to what you aim for? Do you set yourself targets, or do you set yourself any benchmarks, or do you set yourself any goals in relation to conversion rates from content to inquiry to client?
That is a difficult one, Con. I do set income targets.
Okay,
So,
income target, but what
so
about ratio? Yeah, percentage.
But I'm not looking for conversion rates for any particular piece of content. So the traditional way of working was that you have your content and you measure your conversion rates off a piece of content. What I'm talking about here is I suppose a network of content, like your network of content, that all of those pieces together help to get that conversion. So it's difficult to measure conversion of one piece of content, but you can measure it over your ecosystem as a whole, if that makes sense. Yep. Any other questions?
Yes, Nick, I would like to ask you something.
Sure.
Yeah. So I ran some ads and the content was purely targeted. But what happened? So when I generated the leads from Facebook, so when I'm trying to communicate with those leads and connect with them, so they are not responding. So what does it mean? Like, are the leads not qualified enough, or what is the issue? I'm not getting it, because they're not responding to my emails, and there are a lot of leads.
That is a really good question, Anu, and that is the reason why tonight's session is so important. And what you've just described there is you're running ads to get leads and they're not responding, is the position that a lot of businesses have when they're trying to do that lead generation. Anyone else had that problem where you've run ads, you've spent all the money and you got very little results out of that? Just give us a raised hand if you've done that. Yep, perfect. So that is a common thing. The reason for that is that people don't know you, they don't trust you, they've got no experience with you, they've got no third-party proof around so whether you can do what you're doing, and so they're really just not going to make any decisions. But if you run those, if you've got a whole bank of content already up there, so let's say if you're running your ads to get the leads, and people can then go to your let's say Google reviews profile, or your Facebook reviews, or LinkedIn recommendations, and they can start to have a look and see what other people are saying about you, or they go to your website and you've got content up there which is non-sales content, which is going to answer a particular question they have, or a problem that they've got, or just a small part of the problem they've got. You give them some information from all that there, or they go and search for you, and this is what they'll often do too, is they'll go and search for you to find out more information about you on Google, and then they're looking for a reference. So they'll get video or they'll get podcasts, so other things. So all that doing is they're now verifying whether you're a trustworthy organization person to take the next step. So just by running an ad, there's not enough information there often for them to take that next step. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
So-
I have one following. Yeah.
So all of the content you create, and the reason for the content plan is, so when you run the ads, you've got all the supporting material behind you that people can research and read and find out. So it becomes a no-brainer to, so look, I'm happy to give you my name and email address.
Yeah, sure. I would love to have that.
Yeah.
And so what happens, because you know, we when people are submitting the form, so we believe that, you know, they must have had a look at the form, they must have looked at the content, they must have got the trust, they must you know, they must have got convinced, and that's why only they filled the form on the lead form on Facebook. So that's a really you know, that like surprising, that why they are not responding. So yeah, I'll take your words surely as a feedback, and I'll work on it. Yeah.
So if they have filled in the lead form too, and so it means you've got their email address, if that's gone into a CRM, which it should do, you can now have a conversation with them. So you can add them, or you can have a direct conversation with them by email and follow them up, give them more useful information, not asking them to buy things necessarily, but providing more information that's going to help them with what they already filled in the form for. And you know, you can sort of start to ask them to buy later down the track when you've got more of a relationship with them. So it's about building that relationship.
Oh, wow, that's a wonderful feedback. That's a wonderful suggestion. I'll surely take that, Nick. Very good. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Anu. All right. Well, I think that's probably it. We've got to the end of our session. And for those that have stayed, we do have a prize draw for today. So the prize draw is it is the that how to create 12 months worth of content in 60 minutes without writing a single word. Access to that program, absolutely free, is yours to win. If the conditions are, you have to be on the call. So if we draw it and you've disappeared, then we'll just redraw it again. But we'll give you instant access to that tomorrow. For everyone else, if you want access to it, then just pop along the website, request access, and then we can give you access to it that way. All right, so we do have our special way of drawing it as well, and that is our wheel of names. Everybody's name is in this wheel of names, so let's give it a spin, see who our lucky winner is tonight. All right, here is virtual drum roll, please. And it's getting spinning backwards now as well too. Lucky winner is Glennis. Is Glennis in the room? If you're in the room, Glennis, just unmute yourself, tell us you're here, drop it into chat so I can see. I'll also check through the names here. Ooh, let's have a look here. Searching. Oh, looks like Glennis has just ducked off early. Anyone knows Glennis? Just let her know she won. But we had to redraw it because she wasn't here. Come back next time and stay for the whole show. All right, so let's spin that wheel again. And this is our second chance winner. And a second chance winner is Jenny Mutu. Well, being that she's my partner, she's got access to it anyway. I think we could probably spin the wheel a third time so that we've got a third chance draw.
I don't think we've ever seen 3 spins of the wheel, Nick.
I know. All right, Steve Reuter, are you here, Steve?
I certainly am.
Oh, there he is. Excellent. I was just going to see whether we're going to do a fourth spin.
Woo!
Excellent, mate. Well, that is yours. So absolutely perfect for you in your industry as well, too. You are in a highly competitive industry. Hard to stand out and have a difference between anyone else. But certainly this sort of strategy can do it for you.
Thanks very much.
We'll hook you up tomorrow with the details, all that. So we'll get that all out to you. And any questions you've got on it, feel free to call me at a BX meeting or just let us know.
Yep. Thanks very much, Nick.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that is our very first show for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming along and participating tonight. Hopefully it was valuable for you. As I say, if you've got any questions about it, you want any help at all with it, feel free to reach out to me, and happy to help with that. If you don't know how to get hold of me, just go to smashgo.co. You'll see us there, and just shoot through an inquiry there. I'm on Messenger. In fact, just Google me. You'll find me on Google on the first 6 pages. Pick any of those listings, you'll find me. If you like the show, you want to share it, you want to see it again, tell other people about it. It is on the SmashGo YouTube channel. So feel free to go and subscribe there. When you do subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll get a notification when this is up tomorrow. Remember, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, Business Owners Smashing It Online, go and join there, and this is where we announce all the other events coming up. I think next week is LinkedIn. In fact, I'd have to give a shout out and thanks to Paul Kennedy, who is here, for providing us with next week's speaker as well, Kylie Chow. So she's going to be talking about LinkedIn and some of the changes that have happened in LinkedIn over the past few months, actually. So it'll be an interesting session for next week. All right, well, that's our session for tonight. So thanks again, and look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good evening.